Batman Killing Time issue 2, Tom King writing and David Marquez on the art. So, first issue was Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin, and Croc all teaming up to steal something mysterious out of a safety deposit box. Using Croc as a distraction, it played with time. It was jumping around the city, like just during, just before, just after the heist. We still, and I sort of predicted that it would still use the time mechanic in some way, and it does here in this second issue. It's jumping around, which I still think mostly flows well. There is definitely, I remember when I got to the final page, because it keeps cutting back to, like, thousands of years ago. for
ancient Rome or Greece.
Rome, yeah. And when I got to the end, I actually went back to the start to check the time, because I was like, wait, is this not a guy who was getting, like, beaten to death at the start of the issue? And it was.
Yeah.
But,
King Penthus.
But so I will say it didn't quite flow as seamlessly as that first issue did, because it was jumping around a little bit more in the timeline.
Yeah, there's a lot of jumping around in this one, and reading it last night before bed was very difficult. I mean, I'm sure if I read it beforehand, it wouldn't have been, but just trying to keep everything straight with a tired brain was kind of hard. And also trying to figure out how the hell the story of King Penthus ties into all of this, right? Because there wasn't anything like that in the first issue. It was pretty straightforward, like heisty.
There was like a small, there was a small thing in the first issue, but I think I'm sure there's more to it than this, but because it ends with this, like, him going up to the hill to face these women because he thinks he has to deal with them, and we know that he's going to get ripped apart by them. That kind of mirrors at the end of the issue Batman on his way to the safe house where Riddler and Catwoman are. So the implication to the audience is that Batman's not going to win like he thinks he's going to win when he gets there. Would be the one thing I'd take from it. That's all I've got for you, though. I don't have any other great insights.
Yeah, no, because just reading up the story of King Penthus, that's basically what it ends up being. Is he stumbles upon this thing, he's ripped apart by the followers, which include his own mother, who don't realize that's who it is until they get back out of that frenzy. So I'm wondering if this deals with Riddler, or at least with Selina, not realizing this is something of Batman's, or whoever's it is. Making things much, much worse. I did find a lot of the off-panel stuff kind of humorous. Like, when they go to meet whoever they do. Was that when they went to meet Penguin early, and he kills his bartender?
Penguin kills. It cuts back to when they were having their meeting, talking about the heist and planning it.
Yeah.
And Riddler kept saying, "Oh, should we be having this conversation in front of this guy at the bar?" And Penguin just eventually shoots the bartender on it, even though he was sticking up for him, saying, "No, he's a good guy. You're making this complicated." But then, just to make Riddler feel comfortable, he shoots him in the head. There's some dark humor in there. You have, like, Batman going to see Croc at Arkham and beating the shit out of him to get some information, and then it goes back and shows you Gordon beforehand saying, "Look, we need to make the people at Arkham comfortable with you coming to see the villains, because that's probably going to be something that happens a lot. So, follow the rules and don't punch him." And then afterwards, of course, he's pissed at him for completely ignoring that. But it leads him to Croc's like girlfriend, who's spending a lot of money on diamonds.
Sometimes fiancé, as they put it.
Yeah. She spends 14 grand on a necklace, which is suspicious spending. So Batman goes to see her, and she kind of just, like, she acts all kind of tough, but also is quite happy to just tell him whatever he wants.
Because at the end of the day, she has a $14,000 necklace still. And until they can prove it, she didn't do anything wrong, right? Like,
she was given a lot of money. That's all that happened for her. That's from her perspective,
right. So I do like that storyline too, because it's so, like, it's not that he's trying to intimidate her, but he doesn't. She sticks up for herself, and I kind of like that.
I think
it's almost like she's playing him.
The most interesting part of the issue, though, is sort of the teasing. Well, two parts to this. One is the teasing of what the item they stole is, And it ties into probably this one scene where the Joker used truth serum on Batman. So the implication to me there is that it's something personal to Bruce that somehow he got information about when he dosed Batman. Okay, that's interesting. The other part that sort of enhances that is that keep in mind this is an early years Batman story. No one's really quite sure of what Batman's rules are yet. And Catwoman is convinced that what they have done might finally make Batman kill. Now, obviously, in the future, Selina would know there's never anything that would make him cross that line.
Right.
But
this Selina doesn't know that.
Yeah, but here she's like, no, he might kill us for this. And she's worried. Like, she's worried that sitting around this safe house is just them waiting for Batman to come and find them because he's Batman.
And it shows how paranoid she is because a mailman comes up to the cabin and she has her whip ready to go. And you just see the silhouette of the postman before he leaves, which I thought was a nice, because we usually see Batman in silhouette like that. So that was a nice call to that. And then Riddler's playing a crossword, and he asks what's an eight-letter word for paranoia. She gives him something, and he ends up writing Catwoman, which I thought was funny as well.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if it's the pearls, I'm going to lose it. Like, which I don't think it would be, because that wouldn't make any sense for, they don't know, at least Selina doesn't know that Bruce is Batman, right?
Yeah.
So why would this random box of pearls drive him enough to kill?
It is interesting. So you have to assume that this doesn't reveal that he's Bruce Wayne, but it's something that Selina thinks would piss off Batman.
Yeah. So maybe it has something to do with a Robin?
But it's early days, though. Does Robin even exist yet?
Right, that's what I'm thinking. See, I don't know. I don't know what it could be.
I'm actually a little stumped. I'm very curious as what the answer to this is going to be.
I mean, it's a good mystery thus far. And then we also see that Riddler has put Penguin in a body cast, basically. The beating he delivered on him. So that was a pretty startling page.
Yeah, because this is later on in the timeline, actually. This jumps ahead and shows us that he's in the hospital. And then we get a glimpse of him actually beating Penguin up, and it's like, oh. Because that's the other thing. They keep teasing who the buyer is, right? Because they're waiting for the buyer to contact them. And there's a really interesting point is when they go to see this potential buyer, the buyer's the narration of the book, which has been very third person and just detached, suddenly speaks in the first person. Like it says something like they've come to see me. And I'm like, oh wait, this narration the whole time's been someone like in the story, which is like, oh, I mean, if it is something personal to Bruce Wayne, my guess would be Tush, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's just, that's just because it makes sense. But again,
it's personal to Batman, not Bruce.
We think. We don't know for sure, but yeah.
Right. Also, that's what I want to bring up, and then because man, there's so much going on in this. The bruises that Riddler put into Penguin spell out something.
That's Morse code. Yeah, he literally makes. He hits him harder for the dash and hits him lighter for the dot. It's interesting. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. I'm trying to think if there's a way it could be personally Bruce, but them not know that Batman is Bruce, but still understand that it would piss him off. Oh, we've got a good answer for this, King, because
we'll find it out. But yeah, and then just looking up the story too of this ancient Greek story, which I wasn't aware of, is he basically this king Pentheus angers Dionysus, and the Maenads are his followers. So he ends up being sent up basically into a trap. He's lured into a trap where, basically his own mother and sister end up, I think they were mother and wife, end up tearing him piece from piece. And then they take the arm, and the mother puts the head on the spike, which we see, and carry it into town, and then doesn't realize that it's him until they get to town and realize what she's done. So I'm also trying to see how that factors in. And again, is that supposed to be Selina not realizing what she's done?
Yeah, are they not aware of who they're working for? Or at the very least, is Selina not aware who she's working for?
Is Riddler the king that's been lured, out to his own undoing, you know. But yeah, it's definitely it's one of those King stories that's working on multiple levels, which is nice. But the jumping back and forth again, I'll have to make sure I don't read this right before bed next time.
I mean, I suppose one thing that could work if it turns out to be someone like Falcone or something like that. The idea being that it's like this is the transition of the mob sort of style of crime in Gotham to the supervillains kind of thing.
Right, and they don't really know Batman that well yet because, as you said, it's still early day. So it might just be something that's mob related or Joker related, you know?
Yeah, I suppose the item they stole could be more about the villain that it's attached to or why someone would want it.
Right.
Rather than it being a personal thing to Batman, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see because it's small enough. It's almost like a necklace or a bracelet size, right? It wasn't big.
Or even a ring. Look, it could be
a ring of some kind. So, yeah. Very interesting. I mean, the art too, Marquez.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
The way he's shifting back and forth, it's really, really well. The scenes with Croc and as you know, looks like a full on fight. Like it's brutal.
Yeah, I do still like the narration though. I do think it adds this this tone to the book that makes it feel distinct.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean I enjoyed the issue. I enjoyed it as much as issue 1. I think issue 1.
Yeah. Much stronger. That was a good lead-in.
Yeah, it was very seamless in the way it presented everything. This was a little, it's like, it was still mostly okay, but it definitely felt a little harder to follow at times with the time jumps. But, yeah. I mean, I'm still in, though. I'm having a good time.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm still going to get it. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, all right. What are you giving Batman Killing Time issue 2, Matt?
I'm giving this an 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with 8. I'll give it some thought. But yeah, I'll go with 8.